Hi, guys, and welcome back to the All Sports Focus podcast. We are back here with an NFL and college football episode. We've got the big four back at it again. Pap, Ryan, and Sean. Say what's up, fellas.
What
What's
up?
up?
Troy is unfortunately reffing, and Garrett should be on next week. He is finally back from Africa. So you should see a once in a lifetime appearance from Garrett Collins next week on the podcast. But before we jump into it, we're going to quickly cue the intro. All right, so with that being said, we are going to hop right in here to the first part of the episode, and it's a little bit different for us. This is a sport we don't usually cover that much, but we're just going to quickly talk about the World Series here, with it being the Blue Jays versus the Dodgers. And, if you guys know me, I got to pull this out here, but we're rooting for the Jays, all right? Pap called me a bandwagon before. I've been a Blue Jays fan the last, 10 years, thanks to my boy Jose Bautista. And now Vladdy Guerrero. So I'm hoping we can pull off an upset. But when we're playing the NL All-Star team, I don't really have much hope. So we're gonna quickly give our prediction here for the best of 7 series. Who we think is gonna win and how many games. We're gonna start off with Pap up there. Pap, what's your quick prediction here for the World Series?
Dodgers in 5, probably. I don't really know much about the players. I kind of just know they have a bunch of good pitchers and it's all the people from Japan. So I think they'll be able to handle them.
Yeah, when Shohei has 10 strikeouts and 3 home runs in a game, I think you should just hand him the World Series. Ryan, what's your prediction?
I've got Dodgers in 6. I think some of the Dodgers pitching rotation has been unstable throughout the season. I mean, they weren't the best through a very good part of the regular season. They struggled. So I think the Blue Jays steal one early and then one kind of on the brink of elimination. And it ends up 4-2.
All right. Sean?
Dodgers in 4. We're going to see a lockout in the MLB in the next 2 years, and we might finally get a salary floor and salary cap, which there should be in all sports.
Yes.
I was talking to my Dodger friend this morning, and he was like, "Oh, it's so great to be a Dodgers fan." I was like, "Buddy, win all the World Series you want right now. We're not going to see baseball for a long time after that."
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they need to put in a salary cap, salary floor, but we're not talking about that right now.
We'll save
Dodgers are
that for
gonna win.
we'll save that for this offseason when we talk about the MLB again. But when the Dodgers manager Dave Roberts is coming out saying let's go win and ruin baseball, do you not understand that's what is actually going to happen? You're sitting here joking about it, but when I saw a stat that the Blake Snell's contract with the Dodgers was worth more than the entire Brewers pitching staff, that right there, that is a problem because that's the Dodgers pitcher number, I would say 2 or 3. And he's making more
I don't
than
understand how they can defer 98% of Shohei Ohtani's salary
he did
to
that.
after he's done playing.
He did that. That wasn't him. That wasn't them.
I know,
but
but how are you allowed to? What other sport can you just say, you know what, Josh Allen, you take 98% of your contract later on so we don't have to adhere to anything?
None. That is why the MLB is going into a lockout, because they don't have regulations, and the richest owners that go and buy the most valuable teams are going to make their money back every single season, plus more, and they're just going to go and keep spending and spending and spending. Who cares what's going to happen in 2040? That dude's going to be dead. He does not care. So why not go and win the next 5 and be like, "Oh, yeah, I won 5 straight World Series. Good luck whoever buys the team afterwards."
yeah,
It don't matter.
that's exactly
Sure.
what's going on. I mean, when you look at how much they're paying compared to like the Tampa Bay Rays or the Pittsburgh Pirates or any of those teams, and it's like they're freaking like stingy, or the I guess the A's not as much since they moved to Vegas now, or Sacramento.
Oakland, Sacramento, Las Vegas.
We're not
A's.
getting into that, but I mean the fact that they're like stingy about throwing like $1 million at a guy, and then the Dodgers are like, shit, you want 65 mil a year? Fucking take it. Be my guest. All right, we're gonna table that because we're just doing our predictions, but I'm gonna make this pick, and I don't think it's gonna happen, but it's my prediction. I got the Blue Jays in 7. They're gonna sneak out. They're gonna sneak it out in 7. I gotta ride with my boys. I don't think it's gonna happen, but you know what? I got a little hope. We got Bo Bichette back. That's about the only sliver of hope. Him and George and Vladdy need to go crazy for us to have a chance. All right. So with that being said, that's our, as we like to joke, our yearly baseball talk is around the World Series. We did that last year as well. But with that being said, we're gonna jump in here to the NFL. Crazy week last week. The Giants fucking blew a 30-point lead, 20-point lead. Sorry, Ryan, you got to bleep those out, but
Damn.
absolutely disgraceful performance. I'm sitting at home with my dad, and I'm like, I'm enjoying watching football again. I'm like, this is amazing. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, holy shit, we're gonna lose. And then he scores. I'm like, oh my god, we're gonna win. We came back, like we didn't choke. We're fine. We won. I don't care that we made it interesting. And then I see that goddamn redhead kicker jog out there and shank another extra point. Ridiculous, dude. I don't care. I couldn't do it. I'm not a kicker. I probably couldn't make it either. But that's your one job, is to kick the ball through the freaking uprights. And he can't do it. It wasn't blocked. It wasn't anything. He just missed. So yeah,
Twice.
yet again, the Giants kicking situation, I wouldn't say blows the game, but you kind of could, because worst case scenario then if he does make that is we go to overtime. But we lost 2 games last year because Graham Gano's old ass kept getting hurt in the beginning of the game. Same thing happened this year with the Chiefs game when Graham Gano got hurt and he couldn't kick. And it's like, can we just figure it out and pull up Younghoe Koo? I mean, shit. I think we're riding with Graham Gano this weekend. It's like, all right, sweet. So we're just not going to kick the ball. I don't know. I don't know. I can't fathom it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to talk about the Giants anymore. Congrats to the Broncos. Bo Nix looked like a different guy from the first 3 quarters of the game. It looked like he'd never played football before. And then those last 5 minutes, it's like, holy shit, it's this fucking Tom Brady playing quarterback for the Broncos. Like, what the hell happened? But yeah. All right, we're moving on. God, sorry, I needed to get that rant out. That had been boiling for the past 4 days. Tonight, Thursday night football, Vikings Chargers. I don't even know. I mean, just real quickly, I'm just going to say the Chargers looked like a team that were going to dominate the AFC this year, and then injuries happened, and then Jackson Dart beat them, and then it's been downhill since then for the Chargers. But you know, I don't even want to talk about that game because it's not even that good. All right, we're going to talk about the Bills-Panthers game, even though Troy isn't here. I would have said the Panthers had a real shot in this game if Bryce Young was playing, but since it's Red Rocket Andy Dalton, I believe the Bills are going to get back on track here and probably beat the Panthers by 45 points. Bills fans, do you agree with this? Do you disagree with that? I mean, I think this is a good bounce back game for them. But Panthers defense still good, but what do you guys think? Ryan, Sean, you guys are the Bills fans.
Yeah. So the Bills have lost 3 straight weeks against the Patriots, the Falcons, and the bye week. They've looked horrible. But we just need Josh Allen to get back on track. The offense feels like it's becoming too complacent. They get kind of a lead and they want to play with it, not keep hold of it. And then the defense, there's been a ton of injuries on the defensive end, just like every year, honestly. And it just bites them in the butt. Not able to score anything. Josh Allen doesn't look locked in. For some reason, they don't want to use James Cook. He has 3 straight weeks of 100-plus yards, and then they stop using him for whatever reason. Who knows why that is? We want to see Ray Davis ram into 2 people for a yard, and then
Hey,
I don't know. I don't know.
he went to Kentucky.
I love Ray. I love Ray, but like James Cook is better. At the end of the day, we need to play James Cook. Put him on the field. Um, just put your best players out there and utilize them. Utilize Josh Allen. Utilize James Cook. Dalton
What are you gonna
Kincaid
say
if he
up
wants
there?
to play.
Sorry, I was just listening, but I literally just got an ESPN notification. It pops down, and it just said that bettors were receiving like you heard about the FBI thing, They said bettors were receiving like information on like injuries like 2 weeks before it even like was a problem yet. They said like something like that. It was like because like when LeBron was hurt on the Cavs or something like that, like when he was out for a little bit, like he was like
This
starting
is
to
like
like be
10 years
injured,
ago.
like act injured. I know. Well, it's been like a 10-year operation. That's on my point. And it's just crazy, like how like it's like how I don't. That's actually crazy that they could do that to the goat. But yeah. I was gonna say just also like, what do you do as a Buffalo Bills fan if this game's like close? Do you click the panic button? What do you do? Even if, like a loss, like what happens? Like as a Bills fan, I gotta know, or as you other Bills fans, I want to know like what do you guys do if like this game's close or anything?
I mean, I don't know that I'm necessarily clicking the panic button if it's a close game, because at the end of the day, it's still the NFL. So, you can play if you play all 17 games close and win most of them, like you're still a very good team. It's not really expected like a college football, Alabama versus Kennesaw State for kind of a win, but I don't know. Like Sean was saying, I mean, the run game has to get going again. You have to use James Cook more. I think that kind of keys to the first 3 or 4 weeks that we looked really good were the run game, because it forces you to bring guys up into the box. And then Josh Allen's success last year and this year was not throwing bombs 45 yards downfield every play. It was the intermediate game, and just kind of some of those quicker throws where he could get the ball out and wasn't holding it for 4 or 5 seconds in the pocket. And so I think you have to get back to that. Carolina's got a good defense, so it's not like this is a cakewalk game by any means, but I think if anything, this is a good week as far as the defense kind of getting back underneath themselves a little bit. Without Bryce Young, I mean, a couple of the Panthers receivers kind of got hurt. Xavier Legette got hurt at one point last week, and so I don't know that you have necessarily a ton to worry about from the Panthers offense, and more so defense needs to get healthy and try to kind of get back on top of stuff, and then get Josh Allen and get James Cook kind of dialed back in.
Yeah.
But if it's close, I'm not necessarily panicking by any means, but I don't know. If they lost this game, I guess it'd be a little more cause for concern of like what's going on. But statistically, I don't think Sean McDermott's ever lost a game after a bye week. And I
Until
don't know
this
that
week.
He's still ass.
I don't
All right.
see this week necessarily being the first time.
I'll say if it's close because the offense can't score, that's where I think there's a problem. If it's close because the defense can't get a stop, I wouldn't be shocked. And there's nothing that we can do. We let up 30 points a game freaking every other week nowadays. Honestly, the past however many years, Rico Dowdle.
Yeah, I mean, Josh Allen won MVP last year, and our defense was giving up like 31 a game. So
yeah. So if it's because the offense can't score, it's because Josh Allen, James Cook can't put up the points that we need, then I'm starting to get a little hesitant. But if it's because of the defense, I'm like, well, we've been here before. At least Josh Allen's balling.
Yeah. All right.
sure.
So moving on here, there's a lot of just mid games this week. I mean, like Dolphins, Falcons, Bears, Ravens, I guess you could call interesting if Lamar does end up playing. I know he's practicing, hasn't officially been announced if he's playing or not. I mean, there's Giants, Eagles, Browns, Patriots, Bucks, Saints. I mean, a bunch of just really, honestly, shitty games this weekend. Then, Sunday Night Football, Monday Night Football, I guess you could call pretty decent. I think the Cowboys-Broncos game should be very interesting as well. Cowboys are really clicking on, I wouldn't say all cylinders. I mean, their defense still is pretty hit or miss, but their offense looks damn good. I mean, Dak is playing some great football, and that hurts me to say it, because I hate the Cowboys. But they're playing some good football over there. Then Sunday Night Football, is the return of Aaron Rodgers. He's not going to Green Bay. I think they really missed a huge opportunity with this one to play this one in Green Bay, but it's in Pittsburgh. It is the Packers and the Steelers. Real quickly, what are your guys? Who are you guys picking to win this? We're not going to give much of a thought, but like, who do you guys think? Both teams. I mean, Packers won last week, but they looked pretty, inconsistent, I would say, throughout the game. But I think I'm going to pick the Packers here. I don't know. This Steelers team, I feel like this is like a yearly occurrence with them, but they're the most fraudulent, like, winning team in the league every single year. So yeah, I'm picking the Packers. Pat?
I'm gonna go with the Packers as well. I don't think the Steelers are great. I think that they were, like you said, a little fraudulent throughout these first couple games, and I hate Aaron Rodgers' guts. He's just such a jackass, and I just really hope they just destroy him. I honestly hope he just retires
Don't.
after this game because
Oh,
he gets hit
okay.
too hard.
I was
What
hoping
was I about to say?
I was hoping you weren't gonna go a path, and I'm glad you didn't. All right, Ryan, who are you picking?
Yeah, I've got the Packers here too. I mean, the Steelers really haven't played much anybody. Their division has like disintegrated around them, and so they've just kind of been like the one team that's been decent, while the Browns and Bengals and Ravens have completely nosedived off a cliff. The Packers, I think, play to their opponents, so I think they get this one done.
Sean?
I'm gonna go with the under on the game, but also the Packers.
That. Speaking of betting, this should be a thing. If a player gets hurt, that bet should be just voided. You should get cash back, because that is the most frustrating thing in the world. I had a
Someone had
parlay.
Mike Evans.
Me and Ryan both had a parlay, and literally everything hit but Mike Evans receiving yards, because he got freaking hurt in the first damn quarter of the game. It's like,
You gotta use DraftKings. You gotta
We-
use DraftKings. You get
we
your
do.
money back on DraftKings.
We-
What are you talking about? You got the early exit on DraftKings. I did, at least. I made $100 because of that.
we didn't.
That
I
is
didn't, at
not-
least.
It just can't be true.
I didn't
That's
either.
what it goes in as a loss, but it still says you won. Like it gives you the cash back, but you.
Well, I did
Yeah.
not get the
Maybe
cash back,
Paps
so
just
I
bet so much that they
Yeah.
I know. I
got
put it was a
scammed.
$75 bet, and it was
What
like
the
I
hell
thought
were
it
you
was
putting? What were you putting $75 on?
it was like 40 for Jameer and 40 for Mike Evans, and
What
It,
was
like,
the
paid out,
payout
like,
of that?
$150.
$78?
no, it was like 150. It's like double up.
40 and 40.
40 rushing yards of it's like minus 200, like it was like minus 300 and then minus 200. It was like 180. It was like 75 to like 125, not 150. I was doing a lock trend. I was doing 20 to 400, but now it stopped because I just took my money in.
Those odds don't really track with that payout, but whatever.
It does, bro. I can show you. I can literally show you.
All right. Monday Night
Screen share
Football.
it now.
I would have
I
said this
would.
would have been a lot more interesting of a game if it wasn't Marcus. I'm gonna throw pick sixes every time I play football. Mariota, playing quarterback for the Commanders. I don't even want to bring up the Chiefs because I think something clicks in Ryan's brain and he just sees red. So I'm just gonna say
What is red?
the team that the Commanders are playing, their offenses look good. They're looking to get back. I wouldn't say get back on track, but looking to keep building on the momentum they've kind of had the past 2 weeks. And yeah, it's this unspecific team that is the team to beat every year. And they've got all their players healthy now, so there's really no excuses for them anymore. So yeah, that's all we're gonna say. Ryan, yeah. And one last touch here on the NFL. Just want to let you guys know that you'll most likely be seeing me go into a Colts playoff game this year. I'm gonna wear this one on the chin. Wow. I mean, wow. If you would have told me that Daniel Mother Jones would have led them to 6-1 and first place in the AFC through 7 weeks, I would have said you're crazy. I
would've
sat there and
told you
said
so.
I sat there and said that he was going to lead them to like 5-12. and they already freaking passed that up. So yeah. Historically, I'm terrible at jersey bets. The reason why I have a Trevor Lawrence jersey as well. So yeah, you're most likely going to see me at a Colts playoff game. If you've seen the video of the guy sitting at the Colts game, like back row with the bar in front of his head, and he's like laying back, he's like, "That's a terrible call, ref!" And they like pan to the field, and you can't even see anything. That's most likely going to be me, because I'm going to be buying the cheapest tickets, and I'm going to be rooting for whatever team the Colts are playing against. I don't care who it is; they will be the team I'm rooting for. Because, yeah. Do you guys think it was actually the Giants, or do you think, like, what do you guys think the whole Daniel Jones situation? Obviously, he didn't have a great O-line
Dude.
around him, but, like, I mean, he's been freaking balling.
You leave the Giants and you get better. You leave the Giants and you get
Who
better.
else has that
I
happened
think if
to?
Jackson Dart left the Giants right now, he would go be Tom Brady probably because he's already pretty good. Cam Scatterbo turned into Barry Sanders, and literally if Malik Neighbors left the Giants, that is the greatest human to touch earth.
I don't see how you can bring Malik Neighbors into this, because he played one drive with Jackson Dart and he got 4 catches in one drive. So I mean,
No, because it's just the Giants. They could curse. They could curse. Like I bet if you stop being a Giants fan, you'd probably become like a multimillionaire. It all just goes together.
we're
No,
talking
I
this.
think the problem was the expectations that came with, like, he was not supposed to be that high of a draft pick, and so when he was taken, it was kind of like similar to Mitch Trubisky with the Bears. Like, he was taken higher than he probably should have been, and especially in a market like New York, there was way too high of expectations on him from the start,
At least we
and he
didn't
was
take
never
Josh
going to
Rosen.
be enough to live up to it. Yeah. And I think, I mean, he even talked about it with, like, Bussin' with the Boys, saying he just wasn't enjoying football anymore because it was so miserable to be, like, belittled so much. And I think
'Cause he
leaving there,
sucked.
going to the Vikings for a period of time, but he didn't have any help around him, and he still at least
Okay,
played
see,
decent.
I call a little BS on that though, because he had Malik
He has the
Neighbors
same.
last.
He had the same stats as Trevor Lawrence, and everybody said Trevor Lawrence. He got a huge contract extension, and he's the superstar quarterback.
He had the
And
same
Daniel
weapons
Jones was like the worst quarterback ever.
that Jackson Dart has this year, minus a
No.
top 10 wide receiver in the NFL, and look what Jackson Dart's doing.
He has a way.
what?
Jackson Dart has a way better
that's a big
offensive line
difference.
and way better running
That's a
back.
big and
We
a
have the
different
same
defense, so you don't have to
offensive
score as
line
many
from
points a
last year.
game. No, I'm telling you, it's a way different situation. And I think the way Brian Dable is treating Jackson Dart, like he saved his career, is a lot different than how Daniel Jones was getting treated. It was like always his fault when it really wasn't just his fault. It was just the whole team wasn't very good.
I mean,
you've accumulated
you
way
can't-
better defense. You have an actual running back now.
But okay, but my point is, you can't take the entire blame off Daniel Jones and put it on the Giants, because I mean, there was countless times where it was like he looked stupid. He looked like he had never played in quarterback before, with just the way he would just fumble the ball or
But
bad interceptions.
I'm not saying he
would
wasn't
throw.
bad. I'm just saying that he wasn't like this, like the reason that he
Oh
got
yeah,
booed
I'm
out
not
of that
saying
place.
I'm not
basically.
saying that. Like I'm wearing this one on the chin. Like I talked a lot of shit about
I
him.
think he played better than Russell Wilson did in the first 3 weeks of this season. I think at least he made plays. I mean, yeah, he didn't win a ton, but at least he took you guys to the playoffs in a year. He made plays to win. He just didn't ever have any
that was a
receivers. He had no
miracle.
running back for most of the time.
He had Saquon his whole career. What do you mean? Besides 1 year.
Saquon was hurt half the time. He
Okay,
played
but like
one full season.
The year we made the playoffs was because Saquon said, "Come here, Daniel." Put him on his freaking back and just went nuts for a season. But yeah, I mean, I do give him a little props, because there was a lot, like the whole Joe Judge experiment at head coach. I mean, what in the hell? I think it's kind of equal blame.
That's the thing, is he had different offensive coordinators, different head coaches. Saquon
All right, so I
only
guess Ryan loves
healthy
Daniel
for 1
Jones
season.
now. That's the determination we're coming to.
No,
Ryan loves Daniel Jones.
I don't like the hate on Daniel Jones for no reason.
It's not no reason. You can't sit there and put every single ounce of blame on the Giants when Daniel Jones still played like shit for a majority of the time.
I'm saying it's 80-20 Giants.
Wow. That
73.
50-50, in my opinion. I mean,
No,
No
No.
way.
how,
that's
how
ridiculous.
sorry, I'll say 60-40, but I mean, still, he played like crap. He played like crap.
Hey, fair.
You can't look past that. All right,
Same
just wanna
stats as
say-
Trevor Lawrence.
we took Daniel Jones over Josh Hines Allen. That I'm just never gonna forget that. All right, we're moving on. Congrats to the Colts. Congrats to Daniel Jones. I'm glad you're finding success in your career. We've got Jackson Dart.
Thanks
We've
for
got our
asking.
franchise guy, so we're both happy. All right, moving on to college football this weekend. Congrats to Pap. Notre Dame got their big statement win. If they win out, they're in the playoffs, in my opinion. I don't think there's any way they keep them out as a 2-loss team, the two teams that are most likely going to make the playoffs. Other than that, only real big games this weekend: Ole Miss, Oklahoma, Missouri, Vanderbilt, LSU, Texas A&M. Those are really the big three. Yeah, you got Tennessee, Kentucky, and
I think
Michigan.
all
Michigan
three
State.
of those have serious playoff implications.
Yeah, you got
to
two
be honest.
rivalry games down there later in the night, but two of the teams suck.
Team.
Michigan State and Kentucky are probably going to get beat by 40 in both games.
So that's
but-
just not true. But next,
That is
Or
true.
Yeah, Michigan's
Um,
not that good.
But yeah, I think what Ryan said, all three of these games do have big playoff implications. Especially with, I mean, all three of them are SEC games, but I mean, every single week in the SEC is going to be a dogfight, and especially when teams are just beating up on each other, like we talked about. It's going to play a huge factor when it comes playoff time between the difference between a 2-loss team and a 3-loss team in the SEC. They're going to get looked at in a completely different view. But I think the big elephant in the room here we got to talk about in college football has been the coaching cycle so far, even though we're in week 9 of the college football season. And we have seen a plethora of coaches fired, a ton of coaches being talked about getting fired. Obviously, James Franklin was the big one 2 weeks ago. We talked about that on the podcast. And then the big one from this past week was Billy Napier from Florida. Been talks about a couple other ones in the SEC. Hugh Freeze at Auburn, Mark Stoops at Kentucky. Please, I'm begging you to get fired. Yeah, a lot of SEC jobs most likely going to open up. I would say at least 2.
Brian
Yes,
Kelly.
Yeah, Brian Kelly.
Brian
Yep.
Kelly,
True.
who I said before the season.
Yeah, LSU's playing for their life here this weekend. They are 5-2 with losses to Ole Miss and Vanderbilt now. If they fall to 5-3, check them off the list for not making the playoffs. I don't see a way that a 3-loss team makes the playoffs this year. Just with how there are a bunch of other strong teams. Big Ten's going to get 3 teams in at least, with it being Indiana, Oregon, and Ohio State. Big 12's obviously going to get their winner in. Maybe a BYU or maybe Texas Tech sneaks in also. Also got to add in the group of 5 teams. So there's really only 11 spots to be battled with there. Technically 7 if you then take out the conference champions. So, I mean, 3-loss team ain't making it. All right, we're moving back to coaches. The Florida job. I think the big one that Florida is going to be swinging for is I think they're going to be throwing a bag at Lane Kiffin. So hypothetically, we're going to play a little what-if game here. What if they throw an absolute bag at Lane Kiffin? Do you guys think he takes that job and leaves Ole Miss, or do you think he stays at Ole Miss? Pap, what do you think?
I think he stays at Ole Miss. I know that Florida's that big program. He gets a lot of money, but I think he's built something pretty well. I wouldn't say it's like this great thing at Ole Miss, but I think he's done pretty well there. And I think he's found a home there. He's going to be there for a while of just being good. I don't know if he'll ever get over the hump. I really don't know. But I just don't know if him going to Florida would get him over the hump, and that's something he might consider.
Yeah. Ryan?
I kind of lean the opposite way, honestly. I think the NIL and just the overall funding and school support that you have at Florida is more, and it's something that they can throw more money and say, we've got more boosters, we've got more donations, we've got more that you can kind of throw at athletes in order to entice him out of Ole Miss. But I don't know, it's going to be close because I do think Pap is on something there as far as that he's built a great program at Ole Miss, and I'm not sure, like Pap was saying, that he wants to necessarily leave that. I think it would literally just come down to how much money they offer him as a contract and how much NIL money they offer to him to use for athletics. I think that'll be the deciding factor.
Sean?
Yeah, I think I'm siding with Ryan on this one, where saying like, yeah, both teams could offer him the same amount, but which side are you going to be able to recruit better with, offer more money? I mean, that's what kids nowadays coming out of high school want, and they want that guaranteed money that they can get. They don't know if they can make it to the league unless they know. Um, and I think that you have a better chance to get it with Florida. There's also the factor of these prestigious colleges that you can go and work for. What level is Ole Miss compared to Florida? What jobs can you foresee opening up in the future? Um, like, do you want to leave Ole Miss for Florida now when whatever potential job could open up within the next 2 years, when you could go take that one, say Alabama, say Georgia, not saying those teams, but like a higher esteemed team where you're probably the top coaching candidate to go to any of those teams.
Yeah. I'm actually gonna side. I don't know. I mean, I've been debating it, listening to your guys' points. But I'm actually gonna side with Ryan and Sean. I just think when you think of football program, sorry, Pap. When you think of football programs, and you compare a Florida to an Ole Miss, obviously, 10 times out of 10, you're gonna pick a Florida program to be an Ole Miss program. Obviously, the Florida program has been down here for the last couple of years. But as Lane has shown that he's been able to build Ole Miss back up, I think he could do the same with Florida with even more resources, with a better recruiting area, all that type of stuff. But I also like Pap's point with why would you leave Ole Miss with how great of a program you've built there. I mean, they're gonna, as long as they don't choke and lose 2 more games, I think they'll be in the playoffs this year. So either way, but there's been some other names thrown around there. You've got Alex Golish at University of South Florida. His name has been thrown out there. You've got John Sumrall at Tulane. You've had the Oregon offensive coordinator's name, Will Stein, thrown out there for a lot of jobs. The Georgia defensive coordinator, I don't know his name. But you can technically say, obviously, this is big transitive property, but technically the Saban tree still, because I wouldn't necessarily say it. That's a little bit of a stretch, but both of those coaches coached under Saban, both Dan Lanning and Kirby Smart, and now they coach under Dan Lanning and Kirby Smart. So you get what I'm saying. But
Saban tree adjacent.
yes, Saban tree adjacent. But there's been some big names thrown around. I expect some big jobs to open up. A name been thrown around a lot. Looking to get back into coaching has been Ed Orgeron. Look at him for, I would say some of the like the group of 5 jobs. Like let's say like the USF coach leaves, maybe put his name in there. Maybe John Sumrall leaves at Tulane, put his name in there. And then the last question we're going to ask
They'd
here.
love him at Tulane.
Well, yeah, they would. Being an old LSU coach, I mean, that kind of fits him perfectly. But the last name is obviously James Franklin. Did an interview with College Game Day this last weekend. I thought he handled it very well. And I also think it was very smart PR on his part to get ahead of Penn State when making a statement like that. So very good on James Franklin's part. And obviously he wants to come back to coaching. And I think a program will take a shot on him. We'll take a chance on him because this was a guy who was 1 drive away from making the national championship last year. Obviously, he's had a lot of bad losses, a lot of top 10 losses, and that's obviously going to stick out. But I think we're going to just quickly give a prediction. You could throw out any school you could think of where James Franklin can go. But my prediction real quick here is Virginia Tech. This job got opened up a couple weeks ago. It's an ACC. ACC's kind of, I wouldn't say wide open to win, but there's really only 1 or 2. I would say there's 2 or 3 good teams in the ACC, so it's a chance for him to build that program back up and compete in a lesser conference in the Big Ten. So James Franklin to Virginia Tech, that's my prediction. So Pap, What's your prediction?
I'm gonna go with LSU when they fire Brian Kelly in this year. I'm gonna go. You know what? We're gonna go get someone just about the same who can't win the big game because
Yep.
LSU has a bunch of absolute dumbasses. Just a bunch of people who people who probably bred with the same family, and yeah,
Oh, okay.
they're taking James Franklin. Bunch of inbreds,
Okay.
bro.
Okay. All right. Ryan?
North Carolina.
What?
I think at the end of this year, Belichick decides to move on just to save what's left of his reputation. I think he walks away and they go with James Franklin to try and rebuild the program.
Not ridiculous.
Not ridiculous. Okay. Sean?
I don't really know the coaching vacancies, but we're gonna say, we're gonna go with FSU.
Okay.
Ooh. All right.
It's not bad
Mike
at all.
Norvell. Yeah, that's
not
actually
bad,
not a
actually.
bad pick at all. His
We
name,
might come back to that one and be like, Sean's the smartest person in the world.
because Mike
Because that actually isn't bad at all.
Mike Norvell's name's been getting floated around. Because I mean, I think he's like 0-11 in his last like 11 ACC games or something like that.
That's
He's,
ridiculous.
I think 13-13 over his past like 2.5
Yeah, that's
seasons.
crazy. That's at Florida State. You should not be that
Considering
bad.
they went 13-0 or 12-0 or something first season.
Their Alabama win was an absolute fluke on both Alabama's part and Florida State's part. I think that's very evident now as we see. But yeah, coaching cycle is very interesting. I always like following it. I think we all do like following the college football coaching cycle as well as the NFL. We talked about Brian Callahan already getting fired, but expect some other names there very shortly, like a Mike McDaniel. Off the top of my head, I'm trying to think. Anybody else got a name throw out there? One more
Stefanski
name?
potentially.
Yeah, Stefanski potentially.
Maybe. Aaron Glenn, maybe.
I don't know.
Sean
I think it's
McDermott.
too. Who? Oh yeah, Sean McDermott. Yes.
Sean McDermott.
I've been saying that for a while. But yeah, so be very interested to follow that. It's fun to watch. And pay attention to. So we're excited here. The NBA officially tipped off 2 nights ago. So we're gonna be kind of planning, trying to figure out for our boys over there. Well, at least on my side of the screen, but the right side of the screen with Sean and Pap and Troy. Handling the NBA side of things as we're really gonna kind of approach and do more podcasts on that this year, since we actually have guys that know what they're talking about when it comes to that. Because last year we only had Pap. So now we got Sean and Troy back. So hopefully they're able to take it over. College basketball starting up here in 2 weeks. A very exciting time.
Yeah.
Go Kentucky, the Thunder. Yep. And
He's got Larry O'Brien.
Troy, I mean,
We know
Pap
you're a
is gonna be-
bandwagon, bro. We know you're a bandwagon. We know you get all that merch last year.
Pap is going to be outnumbered because both Sean and Troy are Thunder fans.
Brother.
So holy jerseys.
Brother.
I'm
Brother.
a LeBron fan.
Brother.
I'm just a LeBron
Calm
fan
down.
and a Pistons fan.
LeBron. All right.
You okay? I
College
got all the
basketball.
Westbrook jerseys.
Oh, Jesus. College basketball starting up here soon. Go Kentucky. So we're excited for that. Obviously still doing the college football, college NFL as well. So we're excited. It's going to be I would say this is the busy time since all the sports will be rolling here. So we're really looking forward to it. We appreciate you guys. You guys got anything else?
Go Irish, go Pistons, go LeBron, go Michigan State, and not go to the Bills.
Pap, what are you going to do
LeBron's
this
outright.
weekend? Both the Lions and Notre Dame are on a bye. You only got Michigan State. What are you going to do with yourself?
Well, I plan on probably on Sunday probably just gonna cry a couple times. Just get a couple tears out.
Okay. All right. So we appreciate you guys listening. Go check out the Instagram, the YouTube, the Spotify, the merch site, all that good stuff. Like I've said multiple times now, we appreciate you guys for listening, and we'll see you guys next week. See ya.
See ya.